Welcome back to the channel Rare Coins All World, coin enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into a coin that's a bit of a hidden gem in the world of American currency, the 2016 state quarter dollar. You might think, it's just a quarter from 2016, right? But trust me, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. This quarter may look like a regular piece of change, but if you dig deeper, you'll discover just how much value it holds, and not just because of its design or historical significance. There are some rare errors and features in this coin that could make it worth far more than the usual 25 cents. Let's start with the 2016 state quarter dollar itself. This quarter is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which honors national parks and landmarks across the United States. Each year, new designs are released, celebrating the beauty and diversity of the nation's heritage. The 2016 state quarters were released with designs representing various iconic sites like the Shawnee National Forest in Illinois, Cumberland Gap National Historical Park in Kentucky, Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad National Historical Park in Maryland, the Theodore Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota, and Fort Moultrie in South Carolina. These designs showcase some of the most important and historic locations in America, making them special to collectors. Now, let's talk about what makes these coins even more valuable. The 2016 state quarter dollar is a popular coin among collectors for one main reason: minting errors. Minting errors are imperfections that occur during the production process, and they can turn a regular coin into a highly sought-after collector's item. Some of these errors are subtle and can easily be overlooked, but others are obvious and can dramatically increase a coin's worth. For instance, one of the most common errors in quarters from this period is the double die error, where the design is struck twice, causing a visible, doubling effect. This is particularly desirable for collectors, as it creates a unique look that is different from the typical coin, but it doesn't end there. Another minting error that collectors love is the misaligned die error, which occurs when the die used to strike the coin is slightly off-center. This causes parts of the design to be shifted or even missing entirely. A 2016 state quarter with a misaligned die could be worth a lot more than its face value, especially if it's in great condition. Speaking of condition, that's another factor that can increase the value of the 2016 state quarter dollar. A coin in mint condition, or uncirculated condition, is always worth more than one that has been used in daily transactions. If your quarter looks as if it just came out of the mint, free from scratches, dents, or any signs of wear, then you might just have a valuable piece of history on your hands. Now, here's the real kicker. If your 2016 state quarter has one of these rare minting errors, or if it's in pristine condition, it could be worth as much as $36,000. Yes, you heard that right, $36,000 for a single quarter. While this may sound unbelievable, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and coins like the 2016 state quarter dollar are prime examples of how a small minting error or perfect condition can drastically increase the value of a coin. So, if you come across a 2016 state quarter in your pocket change or in a collection, don't just brush it off as a regular quarter. Take a closer look. Check for minting errors, examine its condition, and you might be holding a coin that could be worth a small fortune. Today, we're going to take a close look at a coin that you may have overlooked in the past but could actually be hiding a huge treasure. We're talking about the 2017 United States state quarter dollar. Yes, a quarter from just a few years ago might seem like it's not worth much, but if you think that, you might be in for a big surprise. This quarter has some unique features and potential minting errors that could make it incredibly valuable. So, let's dive in and discover why this particular coin could be worth a small fortune. The 2017 state quarter dollar is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which showcases the beauty of the United States through commemorative coins. Each year, the U.S. Mint releases new designs to highlight different national parks, landmarks, and historical sites. The 2017 quarters were no exception and featured designs representing places like the Effigy Mounds National Monument in Iowa, the Frederick Douglass National Historic Site in Washington, D.C., the Ozark National Scenic Riverways in Missouri, and the George Rogers Clark National Historical Park in Indiana, among others. These designs celebrate both nature and history, making them a real gem for collectors. but here's where it gets interesting. While the designs themselves are beautiful and iconic, it's the rarity and errors in the 2017 state quarter dollar that really make this coin stand out. Minting errors can transform a coin from just another piece of change into a highly coveted collector's item. For example, one of the most valuable errors you can find is the double die error. This occurs when a coin is struck more than once by the same die, but the second strike is slightly misaligned. This creates a doubling effect on the design, making the coin look unique and different from a regular one. If you come across a 2017 state quarter dollar with this error, you could be holding a very rare and valuable coin. Another error that can make these coins incredibly valuable is the misaligned die error. This happens when the die used to strike the coin isn't perfectly aligned, causing part of the design to be shifted off-center. Misaligned die errors are extremely desirable to collectors because they are visually striking and quite rare. Imagine finding a 2017 state quarter with an off-center design. What an incredible addition that would be to any collection. Now, let's talk about coin condition. As with any collectible item, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. A 2017 state quarter dollar in mint condition, meaning it has no scratches, dents, or signs of wear, is much more valuable than a circulated one. The better the condition, the higher the price collectors are willing to pay. A pristine quarter could fetch a significant amount of money, especially if it has a minting error. So, how much can a 2017 state quarter dollar be worth? Well, if you've got one with a minting error or if it's in impeccable condition, you could be looking at a price tag as high as $32,000. Yes, you heard that right, $32,000 for a single quarter. This is a reminder that in the world of coin collecting, even a coin that seems ordinary can end up being extraordinarily valuable. Imagine finding a 2017 state quarter dollar tucked away in your collection or in a jar of loose change, especially if it has one of those rare minting errors. It could change your life. Whether it's the double die error, the misaligned die, or just a perfectly preserved coin, the value can skyrocket, and you could be looking at a huge payday. So, next time you spot a 2017 state quarter, take a second look. Inspect it for any errors, and pay close attention to its condition. You might just have a hidden gem worth far more than you ever expected. Today, we're going to prove that wrong. If you've ever come across a 2018 United States state quarter dollar, then you'll definitely want to stick around, because this coin could be hiding some serious value, and I'm not talking about its face value of just 25 cents. So, grab your magnifying glass, get ready to dig deep, because what we're about to discuss could lead you to an amazing discovery. The 2018 state quarter dollar is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series that started in 2010 and highlights national parks and iconic landmarks across the United States. The 2018 releases featured designs that honor some truly special locations, like the Apostle Islands National Lakeshore in Wisconsin, the Voyageurs National Park in Minnesota, and the Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore in Michigan. Each of these places was chosen because of its natural beauty, historical significance, or both, and they've been immortalized on these coins. But what makes these coins even more exciting than just their stunning designs? It's the rarity and the minting errors that can occur during production that can make a 2018 state quarter dollar a true goldmine for collectors. It's not uncommon for a coin to be more valuable than expected, especially when it's part of a special series or has an error that sets it apart from the rest. So, what types of errors should you be on the lookout for with the 2018 state quarters? One of the most sought-after errors in any coin series is the double die error. This occurs when the design is struck more than once by the same die, but the second strike isn't perfectly aligned, causing a doubling effect on the coin's image. This error can create a noticeable shift in the lettering, numbers, or other features, making it an incredibly unique find. If you come across a 2018 state quarter dollar with this kind of error, it could be a game changer for your collection. Another error to look out for is a misaligned die. This happens when the die that strikes the coin isn't aligned correctly, which can result in parts of the design being shifted or even missing entirely. Misaligned die errors are especially interesting to collectors because they add a sense of uniqueness to the coin. Imagine holding a 2018 state quarter with an off-center design. Talk about a showstopper. of course, as with any collectible coin, condition is key. A 2018 state quarter dollar in perfect, uncirculated condition will always be worth more than a coin that's been used in everyday transactions. So, if you find a 2018 state quarter that looks as fresh as the day it was minted, keep it safe and take good care of it. The better the condition, the higher the potential value. Now, let's talk about the big question: just how much could a 2018 state quarter dollar be worth? If your coin has one of these rare errors, or if it's in mint condition, it could be worth as much as $30,000. That's right, $30,000 for a single quarter. It may sound unbelievable, but the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and coins like the 2018 state quarter have the potential to fetch a pretty penny, especially when they're in pristine condition or feature a minting error. So, next time you come across a 2018 state quarter dollar, don't just toss it aside or spend it. Take a closer look. Check for any minting errors, examine the condition, and you might just be holding a coin worth far more than its face value. Today, we're diving into something truly special that could make your coin collection more valuable than you ever expected. Now, you might think that coins from the recent past are just, well, coins. But let me tell you, if you happen to have a 2019 United States state quarter dollar, you could be holding onto something that could be worth a small fortune. The 2019 state quarter dollar is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which started back in 2010. This program honors the national parks and landmarks that make the United States so unique, and 2019 was no exception. The coins from that year were dedicated to places like the River of No Return Wilderness in Idaho, the Lowell National Historical Park in Massachusetts, and the American Memorial Park in the Northern Mariana Islands. Each of these locations is iconic in its own right, and they've been beautifully captured on the back of these quarters, making them more than just pieces of currency. They're snapshots of American history and natural beauty. But here's the twist: what makes the 2019 state quarter dollar even more exciting is the potential for rare and valuable errors. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and sometimes, it's the smallest imperfections that turn a seemingly ordinary coin into a collector's dream. So, let's break down the types of errors you'll want to watch out for when it comes to these quarters. First up, there's the infamous double die error. This happens when a coin's design is struck more than once by the same die, but the second strike is slightly misaligned. The result? A doubled image that can be seen in the lettering, numbers, or even parts of the design. Imagine holding a 2019 state quarter with double the value. Double die errors are rare and highly sought after by collectors because they are unique and cannot be replicated. Next, keep an eye out for off-center errors. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be cut off. An off-center 2019 state quarter dollar can look like a true anomaly, with parts of the national park design missing or displaced. For collectors, these types of errors are like finding a hidden treasure. They're unusual, they're rare, and they can make your coin incredibly valuable. Another key factor that can increase the worth of a 2019 state quarter dollar is its condition. A coin in pristine, uncirculated condition is always more valuable than one that's seen a lot of wear and tear. The more shiny and flawless your coin, the more attractive it becomes to collectors who are looking for perfect specimens to add to their collection. If you find a 2019 state quarter that has been carefully stored and remains in immaculate shape, you might just be holding a true gem. Now, let's get to the exciting part. How much could your 2019 state quarter dollar actually be worth? If your coin has one of these rare minting errors, or if it's in absolutely perfect condition, it could fetch as much as $29,000. That's right, $29,000 for a single quarter. It may sound too good to be true, but in the world of coin collecting, these types of discoveries happen more often than you might think. So, the next time you find a 2019 state quarter, don't just think it's just another coin. Take a closer look. Check the design for any errors, inspect its condition, and if you spot something unusual, you might just be holding onto a rare, valuable piece of history. Today, we're unveiling something truly extraordinary in the world of modern coin collecting: the 2020 United States state quarter dollar. Now, we know what you're thinking: a quarter from just a few years ago? How valuable could that possibly be? Well, trust me, you'll want to stick around because the 2020 state quarter might be far more precious than you could ever imagine. The 2020 state quarter dollar is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, and it features the iconic and awe-inspiring national parks and landmarks that make the United States so remarkable. The 2020 series honors the following historical sites: Weir Farm National Historic Site in Connecticut, Salt River Bay National Historical Park and Ecological Preserve in the Virgin Islands, and Tuskegee Airmen National Historic Site in Alabama. Each of these national treasures is beautifully depicted on the back of the coin, representing an essential part of American heritage. But wait, here's where it gets interesting. While this quarter might seem like a typical release, 2020 state quarters can be significantly more valuable than you think. One of the reasons is the potential for minting errors, which can elevate the value of an otherwise common coin to levels you wouldn't believe. The first error to keep an eye out for is the double die. This rare mistake happens when a coin is struck more than once, causing parts of the design to appear doubled. Whether it's the lettering or the design of the landmark itself, a double die error on a 2020 state quarter dollar can send its value through the roof. These errors happen due to slight misalignments during the minting process, and when they occur, collectors eagerly search for them. Another common error that could make a 2020 state quarter worth far more than its face value is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't properly aligned with the die during the minting process, causing part of the design to be cut off or appear off-center. Imagine a quarter where part of the Tuskegee Airmen's legacy is missing or shifted. Not only does this create a fascinating visual, but it also significantly increases the rarity of the coin, making it a hot item for collectors. And here's something else that could increase the value of a 2020 state quarter dollar: its condition. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition are always more desirable. If you happen to find a 2020 state quarter that has been carefully preserved and remains free of scratches or wear, then you could be holding onto a true collectible. The cleaner and more perfect the coin, the more appealing it is to collectors, which in turn boosts its market value. Now, the big question: how much is a 2020 state quarter dollar worth? If your coin features one of these rare errors, or if it's in excellent condition, you could be looking at a value of $27,000. That's right, $27,000 for a single quarter. It's a remarkable figure, and one that shows how even the most recent coins can hold significant value. So, the next time you come across a 2020 state quarter, take a moment to inspect it closely. Look for any unusual features, check for errors, and make sure it's in pristine condition. You never know, you could be holding a coin that's far more valuable than its face value suggests. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare and valuable coins, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Thanks for watching, and happy coin hunting!